Hello, hi everyone. This is Kelly. I hope you're well. If you're joining me, let me know. Let me know if you're joining me live or if you are watching the replay. Always welcome. I know I'm in my morning, so that's a bit late for people in the US, but hopefully people from Australia, that really works. I've received so many of your messages overnight and this morning, so thank you so much. Keep them coming. The circle is full now, really, the Wednesday one. So now I've given you this lovely opportunity to have that easy access program. So today is the day where you can have a cup of tea with me and you can ask me anything. Quite a few of you have messaged me questions. Some of you have commented, so I'm going to go through those. But if you're joining me live, this is your chance to ask me anything. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can in this session. But before we get into this session, I want to just make sure that we're live in the groups. I'm pretty sure we are because I've set it all up now. And we are going to hear from someone else. This is a lady who actually did the circle with me, the one that I am now selling pre-recorded for £500 instead of 1,797 if you join live. And she's also done the 6-month program with me. So I'm going to... And we are live. This is Kelly, your activator of the divine feminine, and I am joined here by the magnificent Whitney Mullings, who is a soul brand shaman. Hi, Whitney.
Hi, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
So good to speak to you today. So Whitney's been a client of mine for about 6 months and then a bit before, no? So I guess 7 months, 8 months?
Yeah, it's definitely over 6.
And yeah, we've been on, well, I feel we've been on a wonderful journey together. I've absolutely loved working with you, Whitney. And
I
so
feel the
what we thought we
same.
would do is just come and talk to you a bit about that experience. So Whitney, how did you first decide that you knew it was the time to come and work with me and work on your divine feminine?
Um, to think back, I have been working on the balance of the feminine and the masculine, to tell you the truth, but I never really quite understood it until a little bit further into my journey. Then I came to learning about distorted feminine, distorted masculine through my mentor, who you also know from Sarah. And so, I've been working with her for years now. And until that point, she has suggested, I think it would be really great if you work with Kelly because she is the expert in this area. And so that's how I reached out. And as soon as we had that call, and I just knew it's time.
And were you afraid of anything then? Because obviously it's, you get that call, don't you? I find this work, people get called to it, but was there anything that could have maybe held you back?
Absolutely, actually. It's not new, as I explained. Like I was learning the balance of it from very long ago, and through just seeing what's out there, right, through my journey, there is a lot of women who specialize in womb work and in the sacred feminine. I mean, there's like people who specialize in like pussy work too, right?
Yeah.
And I just never felt that connection because in the shaman background in me, I'm very much into really be with the energy and embodying it, and I just don't feel that connection in the works that I've came across. So I think what would be a holdback is like, well, what is this really about?
Yeah.
Like, would it really help me? to the embodiment, right, of the balance of the two, feminine and masculine, that's been like circling around, like what I need to work on for years now. So that would definitely be one of the, I wouldn't say fear, but like a little bit more reserved to who I would want to work with on that topic.
Yeah, I hear you. So how did you know it was right to work with me then, as opposed to
Well,
all the
for
practitioners?
well, for one, you came highly recommended from my mentor, like who I highly respect and trust, and her way of working just deeply resonate with me and has been tremendous in my growth. And so when she said Kelly's the person, it's pretty much 90%, yeah, she's going to be my person too, you know. But I do always make sure it's in alignment with me and works well with me. And so that fast forward to the call that we had, I want to make sure that we have a call so that I could have that personal dialogue with you, and that did it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we've been working together for a few months now. What kind of changes have you seen in your life? If you think about where you were before we started and where you are now, what have been the major shifts that have happened?
Wow, let's when you talk about shifts, there's like a lot, right? So, I had to actually make notes before coming on live today because because if I was just running off my head, I could go on for hours probably, because every week there is something different. Every week there is a clearing. Every week there is like a area of focus, and there's like different things that comes up. And so I think these will be the top three that I would say. For one thing is that I finally felt uh, being a success that I am. So not just lip service, like just really feeling it in terms of not based on how much money I make, not based on, all the stuff, the statusy stuff. So really feeling into that. It has been something in the making, I would say, and I think this work had really pushed me to the end of feeling it. So that was the biggest thing ever.
That's huge. Like, I had tears come in my eyes then, because when you realized your own magnificence and how amazing you are, you're able to like create from that space instead of that place of I'm not enough and I need to do more to be that.
Yes, and it's like such a game changer, right? From It's like a switch. It's like that point that you hit whenever you create, like you say, it's from that place. And so everything is just more aligned, more juicy, and there's no second guessing anymore. It's like, this is it. Like I can feel it.
Yes.
And then I think comes with that, it's definitely that trust in myself. It's just there now, right? There is that connection now with my own defined feminine. So I could deeply trust that voice, and for whatever that comes through from that voice, even if it scares me. Like I know very distinctly that's the way to go. So there's a lot of assurance from that, and comes with that level of confidence in my work. And comes with that, it's been always a thing that I've wanted, and now I feel like it's actually experiencing the flow.
Yeah.
So it's still, like even in our last call, it's touch and go, but now it's about realizing when I'm off it, and now I have the tools to get back into it. So it's always there. It's just being blocked from aligning myself with it. So now I know where it is, and now I could just go on it. Um, it's just so empowering to know that I can do that.
Yeah, you can be in the total flow of abundance of the universe and let that flow through you. I love that. It's like you say,
Yeah.
you have the tools. Wow.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I just want to honor all of your success and achievement that that you've received, because it's very different in the feminine. Like you say, you are it, you become it. So it's not something that you have to do as much. You've embodied that on a very physical, real realm. And I just want to honor that. I think that's amazing.
Thank you, Kelly. There was a lot of like ugly tears on the way, and and you were such a good holder of space and energy and just totally helped me through it. It was that would be the unexpected of the processing of what was never processed or what I thought was processed.
Yeah. Yes, it's so true. It just goes to a deeper level, doesn't it? I call it this womb consciousness, the part that births and rebirths life and creation constantly. And when you do it on that level, there's no hiding or keeping a little bit of trauma or sadness or emotion back. It's all in. And it's painful, like it's scary sometimes, but then on the other side, you get that gold.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
said in your what you wrote to me, like every time you did that, you would sign a new client or get some more money in your business because you've transmuted it.
Yes. And I know it's working when you just make a post and you have someone to say, I want to work with you. Usually that's kind of what happened. And then, um, oh, and then another magical thing is like there's so much more insight that comes in now more than ever. Like things I don't know, like would come in. If you remember me asking you, I'm like, oh, I saw this. What does that mean? And there's so much more light language that I could see. It's just a deeper level of knowing that comes in, and it's you just want more. Once you get there, you're just like, yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, and you can have more. That's the beautiful thing. Now you're in this flow, like you get downloads and insights for your business. And the first thing I'm thinking about that with you is that amazing image you put together, with the triangle with the circle and the space. I feel that it's like spiritual tools and gifts you can use in your business to really help communicate your message and transform clients on a much deeper level. And that's from your soul, that's from your inner wise woman.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to do more of that now because it's very energetic. There's so much energetic behind it, and it's really cool to hear like you feel it too after seeing it. I think that is so much fun.
Yeah. Um, what advice would you have to someone who was thinking about working with me, well, doing this work, I don't think it's about me, or not sure? What would you say to them?
I would say go for it. Like don't even wait, go for it like yesterday. And especially with you, I think it requires someone who can hold space and hold the energy like you do for this deep work. And I am more careful with who I work with now. So, of course I'm biased because like that's just me. That's just what I think. But what I think is yes, if you feel called to doing this work, do it. It's really for everybody, especially for every woman. And do it with Kelly.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
a must. You're welcome.
Well, it's been lovely to have this time with you. If you want to find out more about Whitney and her soul brand shamaning work, which is amazing, then I'll put some links below so you can get in touch with her. And if you would like to activate your divine feminine within and get into your flow, get your spiritual gifts, and really receive your success with grace and ease, get in touch with me. There'll be some links below. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say before we go, Whitney.
No, except for thank you, Kelly. Thanks for all that you've done for me.
Thank
It's
you.
been a great journey.
Oh, thank you, Whitney. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye. Oh, it's so nice to watch that back. So lovely. So, Whitney actually is part of the women. She's going on to work even deeper in this work. I have a invitation only circle for spiritual workers, healers, shamans, to really take this work to a much deeper level. So Whitney's part of that. Amy's part of it, who we heard from yesterday, and Naomi is. So yeah, that's really exciting. I know a few of you have reached out to me about that. So let's have a chat if you feel that's something for you. I know I'm speaking to some of you today, so it's lovely. But what I wanted to do was answer all your questions. So I've got some questions here, but before we get into that, I just want to talk about the Easy Access program. So I mentioned it yesterday. I have this program called Activate Your Divine Feminine Blueprint, and I'm offering it to you for only £500 instead of the normal price of 1,497. And I've done that because a lot of you have reached out to me and you felt the transformation, you love the work, but you just want to try it out a bit. You want to kind of test the water. And so I put this together. I have the page now so you can sign up. This is an at-home self-study course where you get all the materials to go through at your own pace and activate your divine feminine blueprint. So this is really perfect for you. If you've loved the work we've done, you're not ready to go to the full circle, but you want to dive deeper. I've just added a bonus session today because I wanted to gift to you. So next week, what I am going to do for everyone who purchases that program for £500, I'm going to do a live private circle on Zoom. So everyone that purchases is going to get invited to that circle on Zoom. I'll probably do 2 for different time zones. So for kind of US and for Australia, because they're the 2 extremes for me anyway. I'm the one in Europe, so I'll do both. And in that private circle, that's an opportunity for you to get insights on how to use this work for your own personal circumstances. You get access to me as well on a private setting because we'll be all together. So I'm going to keep the Zoom circle quite small. And, normally clients pay me £500 for a private session. So this is a chance to access me, to bring in your personal circumstances on how you can use the work. And in that, we'll do an energetic practice in that circle so that you hold a very clear intention for you going forward and doing the work and going through the 7-part series. So as I said, it's a 7-part series. It goes through all the initiations to activate your divine feminine within. And it's really great for connecting to the deepest part of you. You've heard so many women speaking. It's this homecoming. It's this knowing yourself. It's this deep clarity for yourself. And for me, when you really fully embody and activate this space, you connect to your own sacredness. You feel it, you know it. And when you realize how sacred and divine you are, you realize that anytime you've gone through trauma or you're upset or things aren't working out in your life, that all that is that you've forgotten who you are. You've forgotten how powerful you are. And so, like Whitney said, these are tools that you have for life to call you back to yourself. You have a deep inner confidence, a deep knowing of your values, your pricelessness, and that creates such confidence in your desires and your creations. You heard from Jenny earlier this week. This program helped her have the confidence to quit her corporate stressful job with zero fear and lots of excitement. What she said, she's super excited about setting up her own coaching business. I've had women just take leaps and bounds in their life and do it without fear and with confidence. It helps also, this program, really unlock your abundance flow. Why? Because your energy is released for you, for your projects. It's no full of the toxicity and trauma and emotions you've been processing. It becomes a magnetic cauldron for you to attract clients out of nowhere, to have amazing synchronicities start to happen, to start having dreams realized very, very, very quickly. One of my clients had a dream on her 10-year plan to buy a house in the sun. Actually, it was to buy a house in Ibiza. She lives in London. It was a 10-year plan. She worked with me privately. We put together the plan. That's going to happen in 10 years. It happened in 6 months. She's bought her villa here now. She's doing it up. It's absolutely incredible. This program's also great for relationships. If you have experienced toxic relationships, this is great to clear out all of that distorted masculine energy, to understand why you have been in that toxic dynamic, and to enable yourself to really call your power and your energy back for you. I've helped many, many women come out of toxic relationships, and I continue to on a private basis. And this work is fundamental to that. It's absolutely amazing. So if you keep experiencing toxic relationships, this will really help. If you want to have more intimacy with your partner or a deeper connection, this helps because you're clearing out all of the toxicity. So you'll be able to open up more into your divine feminine, which calls your partner more into his divine masculine. So many of my clients have said that they felt more intimacy with their partners, they felt closer to them, they've had more joyful lovemaking, more openness. It's just a game changer in terms of creating more healthy intimacy with your partners. If you haven't had a relationship for a long time, this helps as well. One of my clients did this step program with me, and she had been 6 years without a relationship. Now she's dating a lovely man. So much is possible when you say yes to you and you do this work, which really cleanses at a very deep level. Okay, so here's the questions I've got that people have messaged me. So someone's asked, this is a really good question. So someone's asked if they've had a hysterectomy or issues with their womb space. Does this work still work? And the answer is absolutely yes. So many women have been connected to their spiritual womb space, even if they don't have a physical uterus anymore, through this work. And it's amazing how we identify not being fully a woman if we don't have, for example, a baby, or if we don't have a physical uterus, or if we have issues around our womb. It creates a lot of deeply embedded, hidden, subconscious in our psyche that we're somehow not a proper woman, or we haven't been able to realize. I've even had clients that have had cesarean births. They haven't been able to have vaginal births, and they've somehow felt they're not a proper mom or a proper woman for doing that. There's so much shame that a woman experiences around her own this makes me, angry, so much around her own physical uterus that that needs to be cleared out. So this work really helps you connect to your spiritual womb space. So even if you have had a hysterectomy, you're able to really beautifully forge a very deep, loving relationship with this most sacred center of yourself. And I would almost say, if you have any of those issues that I've mentioned, this work is kind of even more important, because you're able to realize that you are fully a woman. You have a divine right to be in your feminine, and you are so loved and so cherished for being a woman. There is nothing that can take away your womanliness. So yeah, if that is you, then absolutely you can still do this work. Someone else asked me about toxic relationships, which I've talked about. So someone has said that she keeps repeating attracting toxic, abusive relationships, and she asked me, will this work help? Will it work? And the thing is that if you have had a toxic relationship, or if you experience toxic relationships, then it's not about that you're not strong enough, or you're weak, or you can't do it properly, or there's something wrong with you that you can't get out of these toxic dynamics, okay? Because people that don't understand the dynamics of these relationships kind of say, well, why doesn't she just leave? And there's a reason why she won't leave. It's not because she's stupid or she doesn't get it. It's because she's been in an abusive dynamic, and that abusive dynamic cuts you off from yourself, from your divinity, from your inner knowing, from your sacredness, because that is exactly the dynamic of the abusive, that the abusive person is more important to you than you. Actually, that's what happens in the dynamic. And so you lose all of your confidence, all of your self-esteem, all of your inner knowing. And so this work goes to the root cause of why that happened. And often, not always, but often it's about what happened in childhood, how masculine man was represented to you through your father figure. So, you know, if your father figure was an emotionally unavailable man, maybe you're attracting an emotionally unavailable man. If your father was a bully, maybe you're attracting a bully. Or it may not just be about your father figure. If you'd never felt loved or worthy as a child, then you can attract relationships that confirm you are not worthy or loved. And so there's no point working on relationships unless you work on your inner dynamic of why that is happening and heal that. And this program has a whole part all about distorted masculine and all about childhood trauma, which really helps you release yourself from the reason why you are in those dynamics. Someone else asked me, what daily changes do we need to implement feminine energy in our crazy masculine minded life? So what daily small changes? Okay, so what changes do we need to do to be in our feminine energy when we're busy? Okay, so if you live in a crazy masculine minded life, then you need to bring in your feminine more. So one key way of doing that is taking your schedule, your agenda, and putting time in there to be in your feminine. Because if the masculine way of the world is your way of living the world right now, if you have a busy job, you have a busy life, you have a busy home life, you know, you're constantly doing, then you, as in your masculine, creating the structure, needs to put time in the diary to be in your feminine. So for me, that is one of the most fundamental ways. And that isn't time for yoga or meditation or this. It's time just to be, without scheduling your life within, 1 second of your life. Don't overschedule your life. That is completely distorted masculine. That's like giving you no time to breathe. Put breathing space in there. Put time to be in your feminine. For me, that is the number one thing. And then create a ritual. I talked about this on training day 4. Create a ritual where you say, okay, I'm coming out of my masculine and I'm going into my feminine now. So whatever that ritual may be, you can watch day 4 to rewatch that. And then the final thing is to ask yourself, what feminine energy activities, so which is about being, it's about receiving, do you enjoy doing? Because we're all unique. So what does being mean for you? Is it about meditation? Is it about mindfulness? Is it about a walk in nature without the phone or anything? Ask yourself what that is. Receiving, what is that for you? Receiving help, actually asking for more help around the house or in your work life or in your business. Is it about getting help that way? Or is it about receiving self-care? Is it about putting time in to receive that bath or that massage or that self-massage? So where can you really receive for yourself? So that would answer that question. And then I have another question, which is, what do you think of embodying the feminine in our daily body language? Okay, so what do you think of embodying the feminine in our daily body language? So for me, this isn't about changing your body language to be in your feminine, because that's the trick. That's like, I'm going to pretend to be in my feminine, if I've understood the question right. You are in the feminine when you've activated your feminine, and you cannot not be in your feminine through your words, through your actions, through your body language, through every single vibration of you. So it's about being in your feminine, clearing all the blocks that stop you from being in your feminine, balancing your masculine doing, busy, crazy mind with your feminine being, receiving, beautiful, divine presence energy. And when you do that, you will be more in your feminine than your masculine, clearing all the blocks. Why? As I've explained, distorted relationships, childhood trauma, ancestral lineage, all of these things, clearing all of those things, stopping the blocks that stop you from being in your feminine. You will naturally show up in your words, in your body language. You know, people say feminine energy is about leaning back, but if you watch the video with Sarah, one of my clients who she shared with you, what her key realization of doing this work was that she realized she was leaning back in her feminine energy, but if it's distorted, then you're playing in distortion. So it's about, you know, day 3 was distorted feminine. And if you do my self-study course, or if you come and join my circle, we go into it in a lot more detail of healing those distortions so that you're able to be more in your divine feminine energy. And then in your divine feminine energy, leaning back is in divine, not in manipulation and distortion. So I hope that answers that question. I'm just seeing any more questions. No, so I haven't got any more questions. So thank you for joining me. So yes, for the Easy Access program at £500, I'm closing the doors for that on Friday, because then next week I can set up the private lives on Zoom. So you need to jump in by Friday to get the invite to the Zoom calls. So excited to offer this to you. It feels really good. So many women have jumped in already, and I'm so happy about that, because I want to share this work with as many people as possible, sending you all the love in the world. And join me tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and I can't remember what I'm talking about. So let's see. Tomorrow I'm going to be sharing with you behind the veils. I'm going to be sharing with you behind the scenes of what happens in Circle actually. And you'll be hearing some more of people that have taken part in that. So join me tomorrow. What time is it tomorrow? Let's see. Wednesday. It's 4 p.m. tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central European time. I'll put an invite in the group. Sending you lots of love. Bye.